All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back for another night of Nemesis Gaming League action as we are past that, or well, we're past the halfway point. We just finished match number 9 on Monday, and we got match number 10 of 18 coming your way tonight, and we have got a banger to start things off. I'm Rockerman back in the booth with the one and only Merely Bentel. Merely, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I always love being in the booth, watching some good Rocket League, and we do have some good games. This has been a banger of a week so far, and with Saturday lineup too, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely got some great games on Monday stream, like you said. We got a great one to start us off tonight. We got three lined up for you, and we're starting things off in the rival league again with Chimeras and Hydra. Chimeras coming in this one at 8-1, and Hydra at 9-0. We saw a little bit of Hydra on the stream Monday merely, but what can you tell us as we do a little preview for this matchup tonight?
All right, so here's Hydra, still undefeated. They're looking to crack the double digits and get that sweet 10-0, and they're looking like they're poised to do it. But this week really feels like it's the biggest challenge for them. They already took down Pineapples, who looked a little bit shaky on Monday, to be fair, but took their lead 9-0, and now they have to go up against the 8-1 Chimeras, who have also been on a hot spree, beating Distortion on Monday. So really, this one, a lot of pressure for Hydra, but both teams here with a huge advantage, a huge way to get into the even further upper echelon of rival.
Yeah, definitely. And, a small little tidbit here merely Hydra, as they stay undefeated, back in season 4, they went 17-1 in that season. Ended up making all the way to the grand finals and lost, which was interesting there. But Hydra, this team has been here before. They still have the pressure on them. 9-0, one of only a few undefeated teams in Nemesis. I believe I think there's 3 only at this point. I think Krakens, Hydra, and Whelps, if I recall correctly. I think those are the only 3 undefeated teams, and Hydra is one of them. So let's see if they can keep it rolling here as we start things off. But really, we got them all joined up in the lobby. Chimeras, they've, no one's really heard too much of them. Their newly rebranded team this season, making their mark for Rogues Org, the Pantheon. Do they have what it takes tonight to take down Hydra and hand their first loss of the season, or do you think Hydra's rolling right along?
I think it's going to be tough for the Chimeras. I think it's possible, but I don't really see Hydra losing this one. Their regular season form is just something else. I think it'll be a close one. I'll give it 3-2 to Hydra, but especially Hydra's never missed a playoffs, and not only that, but I don't think they've ever had to go to the play-in tournament either. They've been too good in the regular season historically, and I think they're going to continue dominating, at least for now.
All right, well, we will have to see if they could do just that. As Chimeras are starting off, Pred looking for the shot. Here comes iTrash, just looking to get things started early, and you can see the rosters coming out for these guys. Hydra sticking with the 3 that they've had all season. You got Seabiscuit, the GM, and you got Tashega, who is putting it in the net right there to start things off, and a great start there for Hydra.
And right off the bat, that's one of the guys you got to be looking out for. Tashega, insanely mechanical player. It's hard to call him the carry of this team because with Mayo there's a lot of support, but the highest MMR and definitely deserving of that. He's absolutely insane, and you're already seeing it live here. He's popping off in game 1.
Yeah, Tashega, a great start there, and you mentioned him joined by Mayo there, who's had a great season thus far. Looking to keep things rolling here for the undefeated Hydra. And look on the Chimeras end. Some people we've seen before, Pred, who was on the Drakes, I believe, last season, or at least at one point, and he's there for the Chimeras. Also, iTrash and Serrano there. A couple of new faces looking to make their mark here in the rival league, and so far they've had a great season at 8-1. They're definitely going to be contenders here as a little bit of a miss comes out from Tashega. Seabiscuit is hunting down iTrash, but he's going to get the clear. Mayo going to get back to it and find the double tap as he continues on, taking it down the pitch here, looking to stay with it, trying to get under Pred, but can't. As here comes Biscuit off the backboard, looking for the double tap, but can't find it. This ball floating in there. Tashega off the backboard, but Pred is going to find it clear. And a couple of missed touches here early, merely from these guys on both sides. I think Hydra's missed maybe a few more than Chimeras have, but they still hold on to their 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and even though Hydra has had a few misses, it's looked like the Chimeras are the more awkward team so far. They're struggling to keep up with the speed of Hydra. Whilst on the other hand, it seems like Hydra's misses are mostly due to the players just moving too fast and not being able to make accurate touches. But definitely, especially on stream, always starting off with a little bit of nerves. But Hydra, I think in that department has the advantage. Chimeras have been on stream as well, but I believe Hydra's has had more stream games so far.
I believe you're correct in that regard, and they just played on Monday, so they are very used to being here on stream, and they're used to being under pressure with Seabiscuit, who's been in Nemesis in Season 1, been all around the playoffs, pretty much everywhere you can go, leading Nemesis in pretty much every major stat category. And he's definitely a Nemesis staple. A huge miss comes up from Serrano, and there is Seabiscuit putting another goal to his tally.
And speaking of leading in stat categories, there's Biscuit coming through, and an unfortunate miss from Serrano. Tried to go a little bit too fast there and just couldn't get the read. So far, I mean, Hydra kind of looks like they're just cruising here. They're on easy mode right now. I haven't really had to do too much. Chimeras really have to find their footing soon because they don't want to let Hydra run away with this series.
Definitely, and when you got an undefeated team, the best thing to do to them is put them on the ropes early. You got to put the pressure on them and try to make them feel awkward, because if they get in their comfort zone, like you said, they could just run away with this thing. So Chimeras, see if they have some fight in game number 1 here. I'd hope so. As this one blocked across the middle to Shega. Gonna keep it in as iTrash on the sidewall, sending it out. Seabiscuit looking for Shega in the midfield, who's gonna find a touch back up to Biscuit. He's looking for one, but that ball cut off as Teshega continuing on. This ball rolling over the net. iTrash a little bit awkward. There's Biscuit off the backboard, keeping this one up. The clear comes out, but it's only to Teshega. The net open, but Teshega, he can't quite put it on. And Chimeras trying to take it back on the counter. But Mayo, he's going to shut that down. And merely, despite everything, Chimeras, it doesn't seem like they've had too much on offense. And I'd be surprised to say that they are leading the shot category 5-3 right now, which I think is very surprising with the way this game has seemingly gone.
I was just actually looking at that, and yeah, I found it curious as well. I was expecting to pull it up and see a lot more shots for Hydra. They'll get another one there, but really, Chimeras have had opportunities. It just seems like they haven't been as clear-cut, and Hydra's defense has been better poised to deal with it, getting huge clears like the one you just saw there. And Hydra has been more accurate with the chances that they have had. With that said, they have been put on the back foot quite a bit, so if Chimeras can just be a little bit more clinical and set up some more deadly plays, they can easily get back in this one.
Definitely so, as they found a couple of shots there. You saw Mayo pick up a savior medal. So now we're down to under a minute in game 1. Hydra leading 2-0. In this best of 5 series, iTrash off the sidewall. Does he get another touch? Is that on net? No, just a little bit high there. For a second he went crazy, but not quite meant to be. It's Fred on the backboard looking to stay with this one, trying to fake it out a little bit, but Teshega not to be fake there as he sends it down, looking for another touch. Serrano, the last one back. But this one, demo trade comes through. Mayo off the backboard. iTrash has to get that clear there, and he does. This one sent again off the backboard. Pred gonna find a touch off the sidewall, gonna pop it up. Serrano trying to beat Teshega here if he can. Then might have a counter attack. Still might work as here comes iTrash. Sending it down, but the final 10 seconds are here. This ball's popped up. Serrano just has to put it on net, and he does. Gets it by the defender, and 6 seconds remaining. There is a little bit of hope here.
And they wait till the last 6 seconds to get their first goal of the game, finally getting Hydra in a position they can't recover from. But it's probably a little bit too late, but I'll let the gameplay speak for itself, as 6 seconds is more than enough time to at least get one.
The kickoff going right back to Serrano here as he pops it up, looking to send it down. He's by Mayo. He's going to get bumped to Shega on the backboard, able to cut it out here. He's trying to get the pinch, and he sends it down, but it actually stays up. Serrano in midfield, Pred trying to get to it, but it touches the ground. And Hydra hold on there to take game number 1. A good performance from them, and a good way to start out the series as they look to remain undefeated.
And it really didn't look like the Chimeras did too much wrong in that game. They had a couple unfortunate misses, a couple lapses in defense where they allowed Hydra to get exactly what they wanted, but they definitely didn't look outclassed, and they definitely look like they are still in this series. Plenty of life left in this roster. I feel like they just have to try to press the issue a little bit more, because especially in those final seconds when they were pressing Hydra, they looked very vulnerable.
Yeah, they really did, and we saw it. I mean, they led the shot department there. It was 8-4 in that one, and I mean, if Chimeras can do that, keep that offense going, I think they can get some by Hydra. They just got to get them awkward. But so far, really, the Hydra rotation has been solid, and it set them up for a good game one victory. But like you said, they found one at the final 6 seconds. So who knows? Maybe that is some momentum really headed into this game number two.
And if they can use that momentum, it will definitely be to their advantage. I love the support in the chat from Yusuf, Messi, and Zara. Zara claiming that Trash is the best player in the world. He did look pretty solid in this game. Might need to see a little bit more from him to figure that much out. But I firmly do believe that the Chimeras have what it takes to come back and win this series. Let's see what they got.
We'll see as things get going in a game number two, and looks like they have a disconnect here, but they're not really calling for a restart. They're just playing on here for whatever reason, and Mayo's going to put one in, as that is an interesting way to start out game number one.
I'm just going to inform them of the rule because I want to be a nice person. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this game come down to this. Yeah. It seems like they didn't really know that you have to call it. They were just expecting the stream to take over, which is understandable. But it looks like we will get a reset. We're going to have to leave this lobby. I was wondering why it looked so odd off the kickoff, and then I saw that that player just sitting in net there. A little bit unfortunate. But, you don't get tactical timeouts during the playoffs. Maybe this can act as a timeout for the Chimeras to try and consolidate and figure out their game plan moving forward.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an interesting way. You hate to see a disconnect there on the stream, but those things happen sometimes, and I think we're gonna, because the reset wasn't called, I think we're gonna get this game on 1-0 at that goal scored. So to bear with me for a second to confirm the time of that goal, and then should be starting up 1-0 because the reset wasn't called there immediately.
We need like a Bake's mod admin mode. If Rocket League won't give it to us.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone make that mod, please.
Pause the private match. Let us work with it. But yeah, so they did get the call for the restart, so lobby's back up. We'll wait for them to get back on here. Just confirm in here. Make sure we don't scuff this up on stream, but.
And well, a couple other little tidbits I guess we can give away. Obviously, Hydra managed to beat the Pineapples on Monday. They beat them 3-1 fashion. It was pretty dominating. Pineapples, unfortunately, Valence just got back from a vacation. I don't think he was feeling like his normal dominant self. Pineapples a little bit sloppy in that one, but Hydra still looked good as always. This roster pretty much just always shows up. Seems to be the record. But Chimeras, on the other hand, the only time they've actually lost this season was on opening day when they lost to Mafiosos 3-1. And since then, they've won 8 straight games in a row, which is very impressive. Almost as impressive as Hydra winning 9-0. 9 straight games in a row. Obviously, the 9-0 looks cleaner. But that's just proof that they are contenders in this matchup. And if they can do that much, then they can definitely bring it to Hydra here, as long as their team isn't disconnecting again. So that was a bit unfortunate. I'm not sure if they'll be starting with a 1-goal handicap as well, but that'll definitely put a damper on their rhythm, no matter what. Still have yet to see. Do you know if it was a hard reset or a hard disconnect? Or okay, it looks like they're back in the lobby now, so he was able to get that figured out.
I'm just asking Tashega to check his DMs real quick. Okay. All right. That is fair. I was giving him an option here. So we're gonna start it from 0-0 here, 5 minutes. So Hydra letting them restart it straight up. So respect there. Technically in the rulebook it would be a 1-0 for when they called the restart, but Hydra let them start at 0-0. Let it be fair. So we'll get them back. We'll get them back in and start it over. It's like it never happened, really. We're just getting right back into game 2. What happened? I don't know.
I didn't see anything. You love to see it. Hydra, they're not only great players on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. We love these guys in the server. Really great community members. You could see there, just a sign of respect. They know that he was DC'd from the beginning. Gonna go ahead and make it 0-0. And now we get a whole game of Rocket League.
We do. If Hydra was in here, there they go. Now they're in here. I figured they were back in here when I said check DMs, and Tashega instantly responded. So they actually weren't in here, but now they are. So let's let's get them back in here. Apologies for the delay, but we got everyone in the lobby. Going to go 0-0 in game 2 with Hydra up 1-0 in the series. So yeah, interesting. But hey, we got some Rocket League back on the pitch now. Let's go.
Rockerman said they're good sports, but I'm not. Chimeras join up and beat Hydra while they're not in the lobby.
Hey, so we gotta take down an undefeated team. Sometimes you need that, and boom, right off the bat, their eye trash coming in, and they're gonna put in the first goal.
They don't care that Hydra gave them the goal back. They said we're still playing our hearts out. And right off the kickoff there, a little bit of awkwardness, gonna be able to get a goal back, and now the script has completely flipped.
Yeah, it really has, and I mean, Chimeras to get that first goal, that is a great start, and they had some offense, and they might have another opportunity here, but it's going to be blocked away, and I don't want to dwell too much on that disconnect. I think we could probably pretty much just wipe it off the map, but just to touch on it briefly, merely, it's interesting. Hydra decided to go 0-0 and then get scored on. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to bite them, but I mean, they probably wouldn't have got that first goal if they didn't have the DC in the first place.
That's true, and they will get one back anyways. I think they knew that Rocket League will be played no matter what. The outcome of the series won't be determined by that, as Biscuit manages to slam one home here off the nice downwards read. And now we have an equal game once again.
Yeah, we do, and we're back at 1-1, 36 seconds in to this game number 2, this best of 5. These two teams, again, if you're just joining us, they've been great all season. Chimeras at 8-1, Hydra undefeated at 9-0, and they're doing battle here tonight to see who can take over the top spot there in the rival league, looking for that number 1 seed. As this ball sent in, and we saw Hydra in game 1 take the 2-1 victory. They held the 2-goal lead for majority of game 1 before Chimeras tacked on one late, but a little too late, and now in game 2, we're all tied up here as Pred sends it off to the side, looking to give chase to Tashega. With the block is Mayo. Going to send it down to Tashega, looking for the redirect. Going to send it towards the net, but only as far as eye trash. As he takes this one up. Going to try to air dribble it all the way down the pitch to Tashega. A little bit of a double commit. Here comes Serrano, but it's blocked away. We stay all knotted at one apiece. As wait a minute, Tashega is coming through for a shot, but eye trash on the defense. Some saves coming through, and Mayo again. Hydra looking to turn the offense right back as a block comes out once more, and we stay tied up.
And already this one, a little bit of a battle back and forth. Shots being fired in both directions. It seems like, not to harp on it once again, but that little break there can be big. Whichever team manages to corral and use that little break to their advantage can get a significant advantage in this game, as so far looks like both teams just trying to throw as many punches as possible. Only a few landing, but Hydra look like they're close to breaking through.
Had a couple of good shots here as another opportunity off the backboard. Pred was hero boost, going to find the clears to Tashega. He lofts it up for a teammate. Eye trash quickly to it as he's hunting for Demo Mayo. Now blocked by Serrano, but here comes Tashega. Gonna find a 58 drop down midfield. Eye trash just able to get away to the corners. We pass the halfway point. Chimeras looking to tie this series up. Seabiscuit off the backboard. Pred with a great touch, able to clear it a long way. Here comes Serrano, putting it towards the net. Mayo able to find the block, but right there is eye trash for the shot. The shot doesn't go though. It's off the post. And this ball again 50 back through. Pred looking to turn some offense as here comes Serrano up for the shot, but nice little clear away as Biscuit gonna bang it out. And really, I'm actually really liking what we're seeing here from these two offenses. This one is gonna be just not able to go through, as it seems like both of them kind of getting their offensive possessions and some good shots.
You can see it here now. The Chimeras, while looking a little bit shaky in game 1, have really consolidated their mechanics. They're getting to balls faster. They're taking better advantage of the space they're being given, just barely not accurate enough. You could see there on the last shot from them as another shot ringing off a post, and it's just back and forth. but it really feels like this game might be decided by who can take the better shot. Both defenses are playing phenomenally right now, but eventually one of them has to break, and once they do, you feel like it's going to be tough for either team to regain an advantage in this game.
Yeah, it's looking like this game may just end in a 2-1 fashion. Whoever scores next may just take this one, and Hydra could have a 2-0 series lead, or Chimeras could have a 1-1. This game very crucial here for both teams in their own respects. As Mayo send this one towards the net. Biscuit trying to get up for it, but iTrash shuts it down as here comes Tashega. Another shot. Pred has to avoid the bump as he finds that save. This one, Serrano gonna send it out. Biscuit is there, keeping it in the corner. Pred trying to get a banging clear as this one pops up. Biscuit trying to find the read, but he can't. This one goes flying by. Here comes Mayo, a trash off the backboard. Another great save. Tashega again sending off the backboard. Here comes Pred over the top as this one towards the net. Serrano has to get a bump out of the way there as he picks up his safety middle, but this one's still dangerous here. Tashega trying to put it on, but it's not going to go. And these teams, Hydra is really starting to put on some pressure as this one's going to go wide. And we're down to the final 15 seconds of regulation. Will we see a last second goal here? Tashega going to pop it up. It's off the side here to iTrash. Going to send it again, looking to stay with it. He's got 0 boost, but it's heading towards Hydra's half. The ball in the midfield towards the ground there. As Bayo was able to keep it up, here comes Biscuit, but this one going to touch their ground, and barely we got an overtime here in game 2.
And Chimeras really just fended off a barrage of shots from Hydra on such little boost. But something I'm really impressed by is, while the rest of his team was really struggling to hold on to boost, Serrano was actually in the back there, staying unwavering on the goal line. Oh my goodness, that one's almost in. It's gonna come in now. And after a huge defensive stand during regulation, Hydra quickly take it in overtime.
Oh my goodness, and Serrano there, he just gets a little bit too far up, and that one bounced off his teammate going back towards the net. And I mean, that merely, you mentioned it, they fended off a huge attack, and that is a heartbreaking way to lose game number 2.
You really can't get too down on yourself if you're Chimeras, though. Both of these games have really felt like ones where either team could have won it, especially this one. I mean, there were just so many opportunities. 5 shots for Chimeras, while 9 shots for Hydra. And Hydra only had 1 save, which compared to the Chimeras 6 is looking quite a bit more incredible. Something else to point out, actually, only 1 demo for Hydra and 0 demos for Chimeras. So you have to think, if they could have eliminated a defender in some of these positions, they definitely could have opened up the net, and one of these mini shots that they took could have flown in.
Yeah, and I think it's probably just not part of these guys' gameplay. I mean, Hydra and Chimeras, I mean, we've seen Hydra before. They don't really seem to be too demo heavy from what we've seen from them so far. And Chimeras, we haven't really seen much of either. And I mean, after that game, not too many demos, but, merely when you get into game number 3 where you're down in the series 2-0, you might have to start pulling off those plays that maybe you don't necessarily do all the time, just to try to get yourself that little advantage as you head into this one.
That's what Rocket League is really all about, is adaptability. Especially when you're playing in a series format, you can't just stick to the same game plan, especially when you're going up a team as good as Hydra. You have to try to adapt, try to change things up. And if Chimeras don't do that, I really don't see them winning a battle in a slugfest, as Tashega coming through almost gets the Doomsy from the ceiling. That was almost something incredible.
Would have been an insane way to start the game there, but it was not meant to be, as we head back into this one with Hydra leading this series 2-0. As here goes a pinch off the sidewall. It's not going to go to Shega. Blocked down the midfield. Pred has an opportunity, but Mayo just in time as this ball's still up. Here comes Serrano looking for it, but Biscuit, what a touch there from him. As both Chimeras fake challenge there in the midfield. It's not going to really result in anything that they were looking for. This ball off to the side. Serrano send this one up to Shega on the block as Pred sends it back in. Biscuit right to iTrash. Pred trying to get to it. He's going to demo Mayo, but here comes Biscuit looking for the touch. He sends it off the backboard. This could be dangerous here. Serrano has to make a great touch, and he does. And that one off to the side. And again, merely these two teams they've seemed pretty close. There's some great defense, some great offense, and still 0-0 here. You just have to wonder, how did the Chimeras find a way through this Hydra defense?
It really does seem like the field is pretty much evenly matched, but that one's just going to fly in. I don't know if there was another disconnect. The goaltender was just, and Pred was just kind of sitting there, and Biscuit's going to get another one for his stats.
Yeah, that one just a little bit of a lofter there, just lofted on net, and yeah, Pred, he just looked like he was caught flat-footed there. Not really sure what was going on with that one, and
I mean, caught flat-footed. It looked like he just got looked at by Medusa. He was just stonewalled there, couldn't even move his controller. I'm not sure I'm not sure what that was.
I don't know either. I don't know. For Pred's sake, we'll just say he didn't have boosters. He's going to miss this one. It's going to go in the net. Hydra is feeling it, and they are looking unstoppable here.
I'm not really sure what's happening after, an insane 5 minutes in the last game of incredible defensive resilience. All of a sudden, the Chimeras kind of falling apart, and I don't want to put it all on Pred, but he's been last back in both of these positions, and we know that he's more than capable of making these touches and getting in position, but he's just not been there for when his team needs him, this game at least.
Yeah, it's been some rough defensive moments here. Is another one there, not quite actually a great defensive moment there from Serrano, who got caught his last back and makes the clear. And now a counterattack. Is that one just going to go? It is. Chimeras on the board. Trash. He's putting a couple, and he puts in one there, and he cuts the deficit in half.
And I am somewhat bewildered after such good defense in the last two games. Things kind of falling apart for both teams. Looks like Hydra, both players on the defensive half, got caught out of position, just not expecting a shot that fast and on target. But good sign for Chimeras, who, the first game they barely got within one with 6 seconds left. Now 2.5 minutes. Let's see if they can finally bring something back.
We'll have to see. Can they take a lead even here? Seems like they've been playing from behind almost the entire series. As this one shot towards net over Serrano. Tashega puts in his second, and Hydra right back to their 2-goal lead.
And once again, the defender there, Serrano, he was in a tough spot with that 50 that just went straight to the attacker. It's going to be hard to save anything. But once again, the Chimeras caught out of position, flat-footed. That's going to be another one for Hydra. Now they really have to try to get something back quickly, or else this could end in a sweep for them.
Yeah, this is dangerous territory for Chimeras. They're down 2-0 in the series and down 2 goals in this game, number 3. Want to avoid getting swept as Hydra looking to continue their reign of being undefeated. This ball pops up. Biscuit walked out by Serrano, but only as far as Tashega. Pred's going to make the save. As he clears it away. Mayo in midfield, first one to it. Trash looking to pre-jump there. This one sent across to the midfield. Biscuit puts it home, and really, it just looks like the Chimeras are just playing scared.
Really, that's all there is to it, it seems. I mean, they're looking so much slower than they did in past games. They're not able to get a read on what Hydra's doing, and Hydra now in Game 3 is just kind of walking over them. Wherein before it was a game of tug of war, now it looks like Hydra holds the rope and they're just pulling the Chimeras off of a cliff.
I mean, just Hydra is looking stellar right now, and really, I think this goes back to what I had mentioned way back in Game 1. When you're playing an undefeated team, I mean, I know Chimeras are 8-1, but when you're playing an undefeated team and one that, has been so good in Hydra, you kind of have to get that first punch, otherwise stuff like this happens and it just kind of snowballs on you.
And it really has begun to snowball. Now they need 3 goals, make that 4, Seabiscuit. Most people don't know him as a mechanical player, but look at this guy go. Gets the pre-flip into the air dribble, 1 extra touch. That's all he needed.
Is all he needed. 5-1 now in Hydra is, again, Biscuit with his Nemesis leading goals. I believe he has... What has he got? I think he's at 436 at the start of this season, leading the second place player by over 130, as he has tacked on 3 more in this game as he continues his reign as one of the top players in Nemesis history. And they're looking like Hydra is going to maybe continue their reign as possibly etching themselves as one of the best teams in Nemesis history. As the time ticks away, they're going to be improving to 10-0, barring the most insane comeback we've ever seen. And, I mean, just another great performance merely as Hydra takes down yet another top team, and it just seems like who is going to beat these guys?
And, well, it's not over yet. Mathematically possible. Likely, no, but the Chimeras do manage to get one back. But Hydra, they just look a little bit too good right now. I really do feel like if Chimeras take one of the earlier games that could have really gone either way, that this is a much closer series, but it seems like they just kind of didn't have the heart to give it their all in this game 3, and weren't able to fight back from the adversity. Unfortunately, as I do think they're still one of the best teams in Rival, and on their day could probably beat this Hydra team.
Yeah, and I mean Hydra, like I said, they've played pretty much all the top teams, and they've beat them all. I mean, they beat the Pineapples, who are 7-2, beat Distortion, who's 7-2, and now tacking on this Chimeras win here, and even another win over Knights, who were close at one point. As they put in one more for the road for Biscuit, a fourth to his name, as they take down the Chimeras with one more dagger. I mean, they've beaten all the top teams, and heading on, in this one as we look at the season goes, merely. I mean, Hydra, like I said, who is going to beat them? Are they going to walk all the way? There's only been one undefeated team in Nemesis history, and that was the 16-0 Drakes way back in season 3. And guess who was leading that team, barely?
Huh, I wonder.
It was
That was
Biscuit.
Biscuit. That was Biscuit, of course.
Yeah, and you have to wonder. You have to wonder, maybe.
Biscuit, the man just wins. I will say, Hydra, now there is no question that, like you said, they've taken down all the top teams. They're undoubtedly the best team in Rival at this moment. I think for the regular season, I expect them to continue to perform. I wouldn't be surprised if they go undefeated in the regular season at this rate. My big question for them is a little bit more in the future, but historically they've done really well in the playoff or in the regular season, excuse me, but they always struggle in the playoffs. So I'm curious if they can remedy that, as it's not technically guaranteed. Actually, have they clinched playoffs technically now?
Not yet. They are pretty close to clinching at least a play-in spot. But I mean, when you're 10-0, it's almost a formality, really, at that point. It looks like the magic number for playoffs will be at 6. So basically, 6 more wins from them or 6 more losses from the 11th place team will lock them into playoffs. But pretty much clinched, essentially.
Well, they might not have technically clinched yet, but we're probably going to see these guys in playoffs. And that's where I'm really wondering if they're going to finally show up, as they've had, some really weak performances compared to their regular season run. They usually do well, but they aren't able to hold off when it really matters most. This is definitely a solid team, though. Keep looking out for them. And the Chimeras as well, I expect to bounce back. They had some fantastic plays of their own, but just didn't have enough to really bring it to Hydra and get the advantage on them.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to those first couple games, like we mentioned. You really have to, if you're going to beat an undefeated team, you have to come out. You got to hit them in the jaw, and you gotta take one at them, and you can't let them get comfortable. And we saw what happens when Hydra gets comfortable there, as they take the victory. And I mean, like you said, a great performance. We'll see if they can continue it on. Obviously, different team, different season merely, so things are slightly different when it comes to playoffs. But I know we're all going to be watching to see, as the rest of the season goes, if Hydra can go all the way, can become only the second undefeated team in Nemesis regular season history. And they definitely have the potential to do so after beating all the top teams. Only a couple more foes stand in their way.
And a couple more foes, but they are mighty ones.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how they fare up after that. But we've got some more bangers. Hopefully the rest of the games on stream aren't sweeps today, Austin.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, we didn't expect that one to be a sweep, but it happens sometimes. And yeah, coming up, well, maybe for our sake, I hope the last match is a sweep, as we'll be playing in it for our favor, of course. But I mean, we'll see. Coming up next, though, in a couple minutes here, we have a Titan League showdown here between Reapers and Venganza, which is a little bit interesting. We saw these guys in the playoffs last season, and my oh my, that was I think really, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, that was a series where I almost had a heart attack, where that one went all the way to game 7. Venganza almost brought it back and won it in a game 7 thriller there, but Reapers held on, advanced to the grand finals. And that should be a great one coming up next. Reapers versus Venganza. that I referenced a little bit. At 9:30, we have Ascension taking on Hellcats. 7-2 Ascension, 6-3 Hellcats. Me and Merely will be on the pitch there, so you get to see us in action. I'm going up against the Hellcats as we're still chasing the number one spot there. The Raptors still holding on at 8-1. Should be another great matchup. But yeah, we got two more great ones coming your way. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are following the channel. And make sure you guys check out our socials as well and join the Discord if you haven't already. So you guys can come and get in on the action here. Is things are building. We're building towards the playoffs here, towards the play-in tournament. A lot of hype to be had still on the stream, but we'll be back after a short break. Reapers versus Venganza is coming up, so stick around. We'll see you guys in a little bit.